Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the Salescast Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we are on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
Hey there, everyone. This is Larry. I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude for the incredible support you've shown since Selling in a Post-Trust World book launched earlier in August. Thanks to you, Selling in a Post-Trust World is making waves and helping sales professionals everywhere build authentic relationships. If you haven't grabbed your copy yet, head over to barnesandnoble.com and order yours today. And here's a special thank you. When you leave a review of the book, we'll give you instant access to our exclusive Selling in a Post-Trust World private podcast. This 12-episode series dives deeper into each chapter, offering actionable insights to elevate your sales game. Don't miss out. Order your copy, leave a review, and unlock exclusive content designed to help you sell from the heart. For more details, go to sellinginapostrustworld.com. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this movement. Together, we're transforming the world of sales, one authentic relationship at a time.
Hello, and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
Oh, hey, we got all kinds of things going on. It's a great day here at Selling from the Heart. Great seeing you. By the way, we're all in for a treat today, let me tell you.
Oh, man, David Olcott, Samurai Success, is in the studio. Just wait. Buckle your seatbelts. We're going to have an amazing conversation today. Shout out to everybody in the Selling from the Heart community. And Larry, right now, we're just feels like moments away from the book hitting the online stores. Barnes and Noble, our friends over there, Selling in a Post-Trust World is going to be available very, very soon. And we want to encourage everybody to go out and pre-order your copy of Larry's new book, Selling in a Post-Trust World, on barnesandnoble.com.
Yeah, what a blessing it's been bringing this out. Actually, before the release of the book, those who've got the advanced reader copy. But I have to give a special shout out to someone who's near and dear to us here at Selling from the Heart. Darrell, you're going to laugh. Ben St. Clair, you're a rock star. And there's a reason why. So it was not too long ago, we were all together. And Ben showed me Selling in a Post-Trust World, the book. And oh my gosh, it had folded pages and sticky notes in it. And the last couple of pages are blank, filled with notes. I mean, it was like, what is going on? Ben, you're a rock star. We love you.
I've seen the copy. It's got coffee on it. It is bent. It's dirty. It looks like it's been dragged.
Oh,
you know
Lord.
What's been done? He has dove into this book. And what's in this book is such a gift to every sales professional who deals with prospects and clients who are skeptical. Does that resonate with anybody? It's a formula to build trust. And right now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know we've offered some advanced readers editions. Right now, if you go to Barnes and Noble and also go to Selling in a Post-Trust World, we've got some special bonus items for you as a thank you for showing Barnes and Noble and our friends in the book world that this book is going to be huge. So go to barnesandnoble.com, grab your pre-order copy of Selling in a Post-Trust World. It releases on August 15th. And in the meantime...
Oh, that would be August 13th, Darrell. Just had a small little minor correction.
You'd be 2 days late if it was August 15th. But then you just go to the Selling in a Post-Trust World site now.com site, and you can get some bonus items. Wow. Here we go. We've got a great guest in the studio today, Larry. We're going to have a good time. We're thrilled to welcome David C. Olcott, the founder, president, and CEO of Samurai Success, a distinguished executive, organizational, and personal coaching firm based right there in Denver, Colorado. With over 35 years of coaching experience that spans across the United States and Hong Kong, David has helped countless individuals and organizations achieve unprecedented growth, even during tough economic times. His approach to coaching is influenced by his time as a #1 national trainer for Tony Robbins This approach integrates powerful strategies for sustainable productivity and growth. And today, we're going to have a great conversation as we dive deeper into his recent book, Swords of Illumination, which explores personal growth, connecting to one's inner source, and living a life aligned with one's true destiny. This book is not only a testament to his profound insights into personal development, but it also serves as a guide for those seeking to reclaim their sense of identity. David, welcome to the Selling from the Heart Studios. We're so thrilled to have you here.
Thanks. I just switched out from the green room. I'm excited about being here. And I can't wait to meet this guy. Who is this?
Hey, how do you like that green room, David? It's awesome.
I love it. Snacks. Wow. Gentlemen. Wonderful.
I can't wait to dive into this conversation about identity and all of the deep things we're going to talk about today. As we get started, David, you know the question that every guest on the Selling from the Heart podcast answers, and that is, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
I love the question. Way to start it off with. And so coming from the years of experience that I've had in sales, and that's been most of my life kind of stuff. My dad was a fantastic salesperson. I had a lot of training that I needed to do to get to the level of sales that I'm at today. And I was so thankful for working with Tony to be able to really accomplish so many of those things. And I will tell you that I got a real clear distinction between selling for my ego and selling for my heart. And I will tell you that that's really evolved to understand this. When you truly know who you are going into a situation, when you've already said, this is who I'm going to be the best value that I can possibly be for this individual, whether they get involved or not, being totally unattached to an outcome of them getting that sale or not, me staying true to who I am, covering the objections, doing the whole game, playing the game, understanding numbers and things like this, but never forgetting who I am allows me to really be in service of somebody and truly sell from the heart.
Oh, this is so good. And David, thanks for bringing this up, because we're big believers here at Selling from the Heart. And obviously, prior, David and I have spoken about this. This is an inner game. If you want to have the level of success that you all want to achieve, it's going to require you to look inward. When you go inward, it helps you to go outward. And I'm so glad that you brought this up, David, because unfortunately, a lot of people overlook this.
Yeah, so much of our training, though, unfortunately, in the field today is about looking for that external source. And that's just not in sales. I mean, that's in everything. That's
sure.
Look at the big top CEOs and look at this. Well, how about the folks that help them get that vision together, right? And that internal society, that culture, that family, if you will, that really brought that to place. And how hard each one of them had to work individually to really bring that vision to manifestation in this physical realm. And it's a truly remarkable thing to think about. We as human beings are the only species on this planet that have the ability to take something from nothing and turn it into something. And in sales, that's exactly what you're doing, right? Because you're taking maybe an opportunity, maybe it isn't, part of the 10%, 70%, 20%, the lay downs, the people that need more education, the 10% are not going to buy a damn thing from you no matter what you do. But you going into that space doesn't change you if you know who you are going into it. So much of my time as a salesperson, I got rattled. I got hooked. I started covering objection. I started should selling as opposed to what I was actually selling. I should be selling this, and I could do that. And it just really turned outward until I found that way to really start working internally and going into those sales situations full, truly full, not needing anything from that sale. That's when things turned around for me.
Oh, I like this. Selling from the heart, obviously we believe your authentic self selves you. And I love this concept of the turning inward, or the inward turn, and showing up full. So coach us, if you would, for our friends who are in sales who are listening into this going, okay, guys, I hear what you're saying, but how do I make that turn inward? Because there are so many outward expectations and tactics and pressures and all of that. How do I show up to my role in sales, having made that inward turn? What does that look like?
For me, I had to go and experience the opposite. I had to go and do the external stuff. I had to go to all the seminars. I had to read all the books, and I did. I went to all these programs with the promise that was going to change me. And that's when I went in with it, because I was what I was being sold. So I had to do that for long enough to realize that didn't work. And for most of us as human beings, unfortunately, that's just the way we work. We finally get to a place of tolerance that says, I've had enough. I'm not going to continue doing this. What else is available? And that's when I started seeking a different path. I knew I had this sales ability. People said I was a great salesperson, but there was always this internal turmoil that I was dealing with that wasn't fulfilling as a salesperson. I wasn't feeling part of a purpose. I was getting the sale, but I wasn't fulfilled. How do you bring both of those together? And so by going on a more spiritual path, if you will, then I started looking about how I can engage my soul in this conversation rather than my ego. And that was the game changer. Believe me, this took time, though, for me to understand this and experience it and practice. It's not an overnight thing that you can be promising to people. This is hard work. And when you finally get down to all that hard work, what's the purpose of that? Well, this full concept, Darrell, that you were talking about, right? We were just talking about a second ago, is that if you want to make sure there's brownies at the holiday party you're about to attend, what do you bring to the holiday party? Brownies. But I mean, it's such a simple quote if you think about the beauty of the magnificence of that. If I want a really great experience in my sales situation, I have to come full. If I'm not complete with me, if I haven't worked on me, then I'm going into a situation needing something from you in that sales situation. And at Samurai Success, we teach all of our coaches here to get the hell out of the way. That means the stuff that I haven't worked through, the stuff I haven't healed on me personally, the stuff that, that last sale that somebody really got me or just got me this or did that to me or whatever, and I'm still carrying that sale concept into the next sale. That's what I'm bringing to the table. That's the brownies. And that affects my frequency, and the connection and the trust and the authenticity dissipates. So there's a real connection between all of these stuff.
Oh, David, we got to continue down this path. Yeah, I mean, we got to go even deeper on this. Yeah, I mean, if you'll go, because
yes, sir.
so many people, the last chapter is Selling from the Heart. I poked the bear. We have fun with it, but it's to drive home a very serious point. It's to not be an empty suit.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Love
and it's a topic for another discussion at another time, but there's so much what you just said that I started thinking about this. There's so many, set aside the funnies about empty suits, but there's a serious note here. So there's a lot of empty people. And there's a lot of empty people that are unfortunately in sales that are going from one call to another call, one sales opportunity to another sales opportunity. And they're wondering why they're getting the results they're getting. I think this is a mirror moment. If you can just continue down this road and just peel this back even more, I think this is important stuff, especially in this day and age of where we're at with sales, especially with trust and credibility.
And interestingly enough, we're going to start eventually having to talk about frequency, energy, emotions, because as a salesperson, we know that, the fuel of the wheel determines the deal, right? So if you love me or you hate me, I don't care. As long as I got some emotion, just don't feel nothing toward me, right? We all hear these cliches. What do they mean? How do we make them practical? That drove me crazy. It was like, well, I heard this, but I didn't know how to apply it in a way that would give me the results I was looking for. Well, if you get past all those cliches, what they're really talking about is frequency. When you go into a situation and you have authenticity itself has a frequency to it. Rage has a frequency to it. Love, abundance, scarcity. If you've ever want to doubt this situation, go into a bank when you're desperate for money and ask them for money and see their response. I know it's probably been a while since we've been in the dating world, but if you ever noticed this, it was like when I had a girlfriend, I had all these other opportunities for girlfriends. When I didn't have a girlfriend, I couldn't get these women to talk to me to save my life. What was happening here? Well, what was happening, what was going on inside of me was they were feeling my frequency. There was an energy I was putting out there. And I didn't understand that until I started studying the spiritual realm. And then, of course, we can go into Nikola Tesla. And if you really want to understand the universe, you have to understand energy, frequency, and emotions, right? This thing is happening. So we're frequency generators. And as salespeople, we're even more intense when it comes to that. So you don't even have to be a high-level empath. When you meet somebody, you can start feeling their intentions pretty fast. Isn't the great quote, like you can read somebody like in 7 seconds, you've already created their identity for them, that kind of stuff. Where do you think they're getting that from? They're getting that from how you show up in your frequency, your energy. And you don't have to say a word. People sense this. Now, you might get lucky and them not trust that about what they're reading about you, but it's happening nonetheless. So by working on you prior to going into that sales situation is the key to this from our perspective. There's so many different things, but I will tell you, if you want to take a look at the source code for taking your numbers to a whole nother level, it's about working on you before going into that sales. Not working on your script, not working on your covering rejections, not working on your presentation. Those are important. But it's really about how you show up, how much work you've done on you, and how much hell you've gotten out of the way. So you're not remembering that last sales or 10 years ago when that sales didn't go the way you would, and you created all these different strategies to be able to get people to do something and manipulate them and everything else. And that's where that inauthenticity comes from. You show up with that frequency. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get the sale. People feel that. They feel it at different degrees, but they feel it.
I'm just thinking throughout the day, and we talk so much here at Selling from the Heart about how we begin our day. And I hope by now many of our listeners have really thought about the way that they kick off their morning and start their day. But, one of the things, and I'm thinking about someone that's done it well at the beginning of the day. They've done the inner work. They've showed up ready to play. I'll tell you what, by 2 or 3 in the afternoon, some days, many days, most days, as sales professionals, look, we hear no, we get blown off, we get ghosted, we get all of this negative energy coming towards us. And then we go to the office and we run into our sales leaders and all of this pressure and negative energy all day long.
I'm having a flashback, Darrell. Sorry.
I think we all are.
we need to get Jackie Joy in here to counsel us. But seriously, though, you think about, so much of you can start your day really well and you can do the right work physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. And you get to the middle of the afternoon or whenever it is in the day after hearing all this negative energy coming towards you. Coach us on what should we do at that point? Like when we find ourselves in a place and maybe our resonance is like 60 hertz, it's low, right? We're like a bass drum, low resonance at a point in the day. What do you do? What would you coach us to do to get back to where we need to be and really where we want to be?
Yeah. So it's interesting because, again, one of those things that we talk about is all these strategies that we have. Listen, rituals are incredibly important, especially in the sales, right? If you're going to go into a scene, right, as an actor or a salesperson, they have a lot of similarities with the things. And you're going in there, you want to present certain things. You want to show up in a certain way. You want to be able to present your product or service in a particular way to be able to sit and suit and fit the client. Got that. But strategies only take you so far because strategies are another word in our world called behaviors. Everything we do as a human being in our world is a behavior. But what drives behaviors is your belief about that behavior. So I could sit and read the most fantastic book on sales in my life, and I could get all the strategies out of there, but they're not going to get me the same result as the author did because I don't have the beliefs that support those strategies. And that is the very first thing of authenticity that we're going to talk about, because it's mental authenticity. It's emotional authenticity. And all those are driven from the very beginning, the end of the conveyor belt, as far as I can see so far, is everything, all those things that go down here, authenticity of emotions, authenticity of mental, authenticity of your strategies, all have to connect back to who you say you are. And that's the real holy grail. That's not just in sales, it's in life.
Yeah.
And as you are more congruent and authentic over time, then all of a sudden you're creating a frequency of attracting things to you. And we all have these people on our sales teams. Like that person just got another sale again. How did that happen? What's happening over here? Why can't I can't get one to save my life? What was the difference? And that is where this put me on this path of finding this thing of authenticity, of frequency, of your identity of who you are. Here's the good news. Who we are as human beings is we're part of this divinity concept, which means when we come in this physical plane, not get too far down the rabbit hole, but we come in as divinity. Everything after that is simply a belief about who you say you are. Everything about who you're going to be as a salesperson, how you're going to be as a mate, how you're going to have much love, how much these are all beliefs about who you are. What the masters have been telling us is that we can actually create those beliefs, and we are. And you're actually living your beliefs. And if you don't like your results, then you've got to be able to take a look back at the belief that's creating that. And that's where the real jazz happens. Because once you understand that, hey, your behaviors are going to create results. And if I don't like my results, then I've got to take a look at my behaviors. If I don't like that, well, then I've got to change my behaviors, but then I've got to go back to the beginning and really focus on my identity. And the biggest belief you have in this physical plane is who you say you are. So if you believe you're a world-class athlete, and I sit over on that couch over there and I eat Cheetos all day, there's an incongruency that goes along with that. Mm-hmm. There are certain behaviors that go with certain beliefs. And when you tie those together, they're going to get a realm of results that are so close together, it's almost statistically you can't figure out how to discern between them. And that's the kind of missing connection I think we're finding in our sales force, is that I've got to show it congruent. So if I've had a bad day or something else, I'm gone back and I'm 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm just not feeling myself, I've got to go back to who I say I am, because I'm noticing that something in my external world is pulling me down. What belief do I need to have about me? What identity do I need to create about me? And start practicing through the doingness of it so that energy doesn't fade throughout the day. Because you see successful people, they don't fade like that. They do something that it's sustainable. And that whole sustainable behavioral and result strategy is based on who they believe they are.
Hey, this is fascinating, and I'm sitting here listening to what you're saying, and here's a word that just flashes through my head: it's interpretation. And I don't know why, but it's the first word that came to mind. And I'm sitting here thinking, going, you know what? If I'm having a negative day or there's bad things that are happening, and even though I started my morning off correctly, and by lunch it's still going good, and all of a sudden things went sideways, is it based on how I interpreted those based on my beliefs and my values? So if I don't have sorry, but I'm just going down this because I want to get some clarity on this. So what you're saying, I'm a high clarity guy, is what you're saying is, if I don't understand who I am in my core being and my values and my beliefs, I'm going to take that negative situation as I see it, as I interpret it, and I'm going to go down that road. But if I have strong beliefs and strong values and an inner being that says, I know who I am, then I'd look at it at a completely different lens, which is a positive lens. Did I get what you're saying correctly?
Nailed it. Absolutely perfect, man. That's exactly a great approach to this, that says, not only do my beliefs support this, but remember, my beliefs are also supported by another segment of things, which we talk about in the book, called your rules structure. So beliefs and a subset of your belief systems are called your rules, which means this has to happen in order for me to be successful. And your identity then drives those rules. So in our country, we're dealing with a lot of rule changes, right? People are discussing what this is and what that is and what's the truth. And these are rule structures that people are dealing with at a very high level. That's part of your belief systems. So part of that belief drives your rules. So as you set your identity about who you are, you can do this consciously, like I'm creating this, or you can take what society has given to you and you become that. So this is from a very interesting perspective where you're constantly creating it or you're accepting what other people have told you about you. You are still running from an identity. You are running all of your results from that identity and all the rules that go along with it. The most successful of us on the planet know this secret. We're making all this stuff up. Are you making it up to get the results you want? If you're not, this is a game you can play. This is the game changer. We are not here to discover who we are. We're here to create who we are. And when I heard that for the very first time, guys, I'm serious. I went into a cave for like 30 days because my mind was so blown that I was like, what the hell did I just hear? Because every movie, every tape, every book I've ever read was like, I was seeking for who I was. It was like an odyssey, right? About discovering these things. And when I first heard this in a very different way, it totally shifted things. I didn't know how to apply it yet, but I was like, wait a minute. I'm not here to discover who I am. I'm here to create who I am. And the creation of that by physically writing down who I say I am in every single role distinction, who I am as a husband, who I am as a lover, how I am as a friend, who I am in sales. Here's what gets cool. When I start doing that and I start being authentic and congruent, no longer the empty suit, and I'm writing this out and I'm living this identity in all the things I'm doing in my life, it creates a frequency of attraction. And now I'm not chasing things anymore. Things are being attracted to me. And that's when sales shifted for me forever. I was like, holy crap, I'm not chasing these things anymore. I'm simply attracted. People are coming to me and going, hey, would you coach me on this? Hey, could you show me this? I was like, what is happening here? And that's when that connection started happening.
Powerful, powerful. What a great conversation, David. And I know our listeners are sitting here right now thinking to themselves, how do I get more David Olcott in my life?
There are licenses in certain states that keep me from being that. So Samurai Success is the name of our company and of course our website to be able to get there. And that's what we really focus on is Swords of Illumination specifically are 6 of the 12 swords that we actually teach here at Samurai Success about how to create this frequency and do it from a soulful place, not so much an ego place. And I will tell you, in the sales game especially, if you want to have a competitive edge, then you got to differentiate yourself. Yep. And one of those powerful ways to differentiate yourself is stop going in and creating who you are through your ego. Come in from your soul. Just that can change your entire numbers because people are like, they really approach that from a different way. She's saying that differently. I've never heard it put that way because it comes from a different source. And it's so powerful. Here's how I got on this. John Denver was an amazing figure in my life because he was the very first superstar. I missed Elvis kind of thing, but I came into this John Denver time. And of course, I live in Denver, Colorado. Now, no coincidence there, right? He's a pilot, I'm a pilot. But watching him on stage, listening to that angelic voice, it was fascinating to me watching him on all these variety shows. He was in movies, he was on stage, and he was this prolific songwriter. And during one of those interviews, I think it was on Dick Cavett, if I'm kind of showing my age here, I apologize, but he was on this show and they were doing this show talk thing. And they asked him a question, how did you come up with Country Road? And he paused for just a minute. And then he just looked right back at the camera and he says, I was just sitting there and it just came to me. And that was a fascinating way that he approached, because then every single interview after that, I noticed him saying the same thing. It came to me. It came to me. Well, in spiritual terms, that's called downloading. Now, Mozart was famous for this as a songwriter. As a matter of fact, if you looked at his music sheets, they said that he wrote without a single correction. Yep. He was dictating the stuff onto that music. The stuff is just blows our minds today. We can't create it again. Like, what happened? Well, John was saying the same thing. He downloaded that information. And I was like, wait a minute here. You're telling me that I can have access to the source of all things and I could download that information? Okay, how do you sign me up?
What's the monthly subscription for that?
What do I got to do today? Do I need to fill in these formats? Whatever it looks like.
Yeah.
It says I want, and that's where my journey began. That's 30 years ago of finding out and what I found out was there's a frequency that we as humans can get into and download information. And every one of us on this planet has already experienced this in some way, shape, or form. Have you ever forgot something and then like 2:00 in the morning, you remember it? In the shower the next day? We've had these moments where it's like, I totally forgot oh, that's what it is. It came from the source, like boom, it just hit me like a lightning bolt. What if we could do something not just past memory? We could come in with new information we'd never even heard before. Like a brand new song, like a brand new product, a brand new service, a brand new way to cover an objection. What if you could do that in the moment of the sales presentation? Come on now. Come on now. That's a big what if. And I'm sitting there, this is my brain going, what if?
Yeah.
This is my driving force to figure this out. Because we all know the stats that says if you have a product or service, but you can't sell or market to that, it's not going anywhere. Sales and marketing moves this country and this world.
Yep.
How about if we start bringing some people in with full suits? Really powerful, truly being in service of others, gotten the hell out of their own way. What if we could do that?
Yeah.
I say no more empty suits, Darrell.
David, what an amazing conversation. And just on behalf of the whole Selling from the Heart audience and community, I just want to say thank you for sharing your heart with us today. This has really been amazing.
Honored to be here with you guys. Thanks so much for the hard work you're putting into putting this podcast together. I'm just learning. I'm a third grader with this stuff. I've never been on social media before. So thank you guys for all the hard work.
No, it's our pleasure. Thank you for
pleasure.
your time.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Wow. What a challenging conversation and so inspirational. I told everyone at the beginning, buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be a very challenging conversation. Larry, so many things stood out on this. I can't wait to go back and apply this and dig into David's book.
Yeah, and it's just, where do I even start? But it's just so many of us I always say this, the hardest work you will ever do in your life is the heart work.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, that's what's going to take. And I know all of our listeners, they want to get to the next level. They want to create betterment in their lives, both personally and professionally. Well, guess what? You got to open up the cupboard. You got to open up the cupboard and check out what's inside. If not, you're going to get what you get.
That's right. So that's our challenge is let's do the inner work. Let's make that inner turn. Let's take the time. Let's invest in ourselves. Let's work to bring a congruent, aligned, best version of ourselves out to the marketplace to serve the people that we're called to serve. And there's so much good here. It's even hard to land the plane on this conversation because it's so powerful. But I want to say thank you. I want to say a genuine thank you to everybody who is getting the Selling in a Post-Trust World book. The pre-orders right now are super helpful as we work to expand the distribution of this book across multiple platforms, online and in stores. It is extremely helpful. Every single pre-order that we get, just trust me, it's making a massive difference. We want to say thank you to you. So when you do go to Barnes & Noble to pre-order that book, come back to sellinginapostttrustworld.com. We'll have some special goodies for you. Larry, I'm so excited about all that's ahead with the book launch on August 13th, with the lineup of guests that we have coming on the podcast. This is a great summer to be selling from the heart.
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, it's our commitment here at Selling from the Heart is with Selling from the Heart. It was about authenticity and bringing that up onto the business table. In Selling in a Post-Trust World, it's about trust. It's about building and sometimes repairing trust. Sorely needed. Right. But together, guess what? We're all making a difference. We appreciate you. Thank you for being on this journey with us.
Well, till next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust, do the inner work, and most of all,
Sell from the heart.